Welcome to the Justin Ng Show, where real entrepreneurs and investors reveal how they turn humble beginnings into high-impact ventures. From bold moves to capital raises, we unpack what it really takes to build and scale greatness. Let's go check it out. What if one simple finance system could turn chaos into clarity and profit? Today, we break down the numbers every founder should track to scale with confidence. You'll hear the 3 KPIs she reviews weekly and what good looks like. Welcome back to the Justin Ng Show. I'm joined by Tina O'Banion, MBA and CEO of TFO Clarity, a firm that helps entrepreneurs read their numbers, make better decisions, and build healthy companies. She's also the author of Falling Up, Grace for Entrepreneurs, Financial Journey, and she teaches owners how to turn cash flow, pricing, and KPIs into action. Tina, welcome to the show. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Tina, for joining us here today at this beautiful DoubleTree. And ultimate welcome. Shout out to Bill Walsh and Jackson for having us here. Thank you so much to joining me in my podcast here today. So I usually just start by asking you how you started from your humble beginnings to where you are right now to be an amazing fractional CFO.
Yeah.
Can you tell us like the journey in a high level sense, like if there's any troubles and tribulations and challenges and obstacles that you've had to go through?
Well, first of all, my name is Tina O'Banion.
Yeah.
I am the owner and CEO of the Financial Office, or TFO Clarity. I started this business, a fractional CFO business, almost 6 years ago.
Wow.
And I came up with the idea of helping more entrepreneurs. I grew up in finance and accounting, where I just went up the corporate ladder from doing accounts payable all the way to CFO. And I was a CFO of a publicly traded company, and I was working so hard for other people, I decided to do my own company. As a side hustle, I was always helping friends and family with their accounting, and I worked with entrepreneurs starting out and did their business modeling and financials for their business plans.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's how I got started doing this on my own, is that I just love working with entrepreneurs.
That's amazing. So when you mentioned that you started working for them and you were doing a side hustle, how was it to juggle between the corporate side and doing a side hustle?
Yes, it was a juggle, and I really liked it. And so when I decided to do this on my own, I'll never go back to corporate. I just love this so much, and I've built a fantastic team to help me along this journey, and it's just been very rewarding. I just love the idea of seeing entrepreneurs see their vision come to life through the financial process.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. I can agree on that one because of what I'm going through right now, and that's why I'm here, just to be outside my comfort zone and try to like build something to, try maybe eventually get out of the rat race. And you mentioned you had to build a team for that. Was it very difficult to build a team, to hire someone? Like, how was that process like?
Yeah, I think, having good processes, having good systems, there's always this thing, and it's called talent, bringing in top talent, right? So I've tried multiple things. I've hired people that I've hired in the past in corporate to work with me. And, it takes a certain type of person to be able to manage multiple companies and to manage time, to multitask.
Yeah.
To be able to have a process of how you're going to get things done. We do everything from bookkeeping all the way to CFO work. And so we have tight deadlines, and, getting the top talent has been a very difficult challenge for us.
Okay.
And it's across the board, and anyone I talk to, hiring top talent in the accounting profession has been very, very difficult with all companies of all sizes.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at talent, I think that's, you've got to really make sure that you understand what their capabilities are and you have to ask them tough questions.
Right,
how
right, yeah.
how do you manage your day? How do you, we're all remote, and although we have an office where clients come in, my employees are someone's in Houston, someone's outside
okay.
of Dallas Fort Worth, and we don't always get together in the office to work together to collaborate.
Okay.
And so that makes it difficult as well, just not having that
Oh,
collaboration. What I've learned and what I'm always learning and changing throughout this journey of my entrepreneurship is you've got to be able to pivot. You've got to be able to be like a sailboat. If
okay,
something
yeah.
happens, you've got to just change your path, and you've got to do it quickly. And those that are successful in this career is you've got to be able to adjust.
Right, exactly.
And
Yeah.
each entrepreneur we work with is 100% different than the other.
Correct, yeah.
Their demands are different, their needs are different, they are coming from different stages in their financial journey. A lot of them have had heartaches and pain with their previous providers.
Okay, yeah.
And so when we get in there, we solve a lot of issues, we find a lot of errors, and we fix those. And then, it's the cadence. It takes some time for each client as we onboard them. It takes time to really get to understand the business owner,
Right,
the business processes, and help them with that strategy on the CFO side. So once we get all that fixed, then we can kind of work with the entrepreneur and strategy.
Okay.
And looking for beyond historical transactions, where we're looking beyond that history. And going into the future, and what are their goals? What are their what's on their plate, right? The CEO needs to have that financial clarity.
Yeah.
And so that's what's exciting about what we do.
So it sounds like that every client you come across, so there's no set process or no set things that you got to go through. Everything is different, so you have to cater and make changes on the go for each client that comes in.
Yeah.
When they come and hire your services.
Right. So, accounting is accounting, right? So there's debits and credits.
Yeah.
There's the balance sheet that flows into the income statement, and you've got the statement of cash flows. These financial statements kind of all go in harmony no matter what business you're in, right? No matter what if you're manufacturing, or you're an e-commerce business, or you're a service provider, or whatever you're doing, accounting is debits and credits, right?
Yes.
But you take that information, and it's how the operations works. Like, how are you billing your customers? And each client has different third-party applications. And I'm trying to find a solution that will help many different industries with their third-party apps and how it communicates. A lot of our clients are on QuickBooks Online. And QuickBooks Online is not a perfect tool, but it is a great tool because it's internet-based, and you can have your phone. You can, you take pictures of your receipts and submit them to QuickBooks Online. You can kind of see where you're at, and it's wonderful because it feeds in with your banks and your credit cards, and that's a great tool. But when you're dealing with third-party apps where you've got contracts that are going out to their clients, and you've got partial payments or deposits and all that, that's where it kind of gets a little tricky for each client that we serve.
Okay, so then from that third-party apps, you guys have to all get all the data correctly first before you can actually start the process of bringing help them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you probably have people that will be able to collect all those and try to segregate it and put it all into the process that you guys are familiar with, so that everybody's in sync.
Yes, everyone's in sync, and every business is different. So we just got to cater to what their needs are, and just kind of go with that. And so, yes, we have systems and processes in place that is related to accounting, and like a closed checklist, right?
Yeah.
Making sure that each client has these things done before we say we're done with the close of the prior month.
Okay.
Right. So we have an accounting process that's rock solid. I've been using this process for a long time. Most companies do.
Yes.
And so that is set, right? But it's all the intricacies of what they do.
Okay. And typically, how long are the clients basically with you throughout their lifetime of the business, or is there a point where they actually everything's settled already, you guys already done everything, and they're able to move on and maybe do their own books after that, or
Yeah, there are some clients they grow and they grow substantially, and sometimes I call it graduation.
graduation? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where basically outsourcing their accounting function. We they need to bring it in house. Sometimes that
Okay.
happens, and I call it graduating because it's time for them to hire a full-time controller, for instance. They
Okay.
get to a certain level, they're going well, but the time requirements they need is more of a full-time person.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a client that has graduated from our accounting services and they still use me as their CFO.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so, hiring a CFO is very expensive,
Mm-hmm.
if you can
Right.
imagine.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, when you hire a CFO, that's so much expense. And not all bookkeepers are CFOs, not all controllers are CFOs. Being a CFO is all about strategy, all about looking beyond the historical transactions. The historical transactions tell a story,
Mm-hmm.
but it's in the past. And so putting together a financial model, a 1-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year plan takes a lot of effort and strategy.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can't just put numbers together. Oh, we're just going to do the same as last year. No, no, no. We got to have goals and we got to
Mm-hmm.
have a budget and we got to have all these things.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
what we do.
Okay. So in terms of like you guys have different verticals, they can graduate from a vertical, but they'll still keep you in a different vertical and
Yeah.
use your services. And when you are talking to them and budgeting and planning everything 5 years, 10 years, I know you plan with the owner and then you'll be the CFO. Would there be other C levels included, like a CTO or anything involved in the conversation as well?
Yes, so we meet with the stakeholders of the
Oh, the
business.
stakeholders. Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
that could be your chief operating officer, your chief technology, your human resources, and we do human resources as well.
Oh, okay.
We have certified human resource
Oh, wow.
people
Okay.
on our staff, and I actually got my certificate a long time ago.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that is a service that we provide. And we have a Rolodex of good HR attorneys, and
Wow. Okay.
so we definitely collaborate with them, and we make sure that they are staying on top of what they should be offering their employees as far as benefits. We help with that.
Mm-hmm.
We help with insurance, and we do a lot of things
Wow. Okay.
because my career and the people on my team are senior staff accountants, or not just staff accountants, but they're seniored in their positions.
Okay.
And so that's what makes it kind of fun.
That's interesting. So you guys have payroll as well then?
Yeah, we
Oh,
do
wow.
payroll, we do accounts payable, we do billings for
Oh, wow.
clients, we do collections, we do all that back office stuff.
That's impressive. Okay. I didn't know you guys have so much. So did you guys add this on later on, the services, or was it all when you had the vision to start a company, you're gonna have all this?
Yeah, so the vision is before I started my business, I had seen it through networking and through my professional network groups that I'm a member of. There were a lot of fractional CFOs out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I always thought that's great. You do need a CFO on a part-time basis or whenever you need it. But the missing part is, if that saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if your CFO is making decisions on these financial statements that are incorrect,
Mm-hmm. It's gonna affect a lot.
it's going to affect
Yeah.
the way you proceed, right? So I was talking with a business owner here at this conference, and she had a full-time accountant on staff, and she had a fractional CFO, and she had her CPA. Well, what she realized was that the bookkeeper was producing incorrect
Oh.
financial statements.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so by the time you get to the CFO is taking that wrong data,
Mm-hmm.
making decisions off of that with the CEO. So those two got together. And then the CPA was filing taxes that weren't based on accurate
Oh,
information.
wow.
And so that in of itself causes issues, right?
Yeah.
You can
I see.
imagine,
Yeah.
right? So you've got to be careful of who your bookkeeper is, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, they didn't get audited.
You know, they're going back. So
Okay.
they're going back a couple of years.
Okay, so they're going to rectify it.
Rectify
Yeah.
everything, clean it all up, get
That's good.
taxes, you know, adjusted where needed. And so you just got to do the cleanup work, and you've got to figure out what was wrong with it. And it starts with the bookkeeping. So that's why I think it's so important that you offer a holistic solution, right? That can get that can you can ensure your CEO is that you're working with, you have accurate numbers, right? So that's why I wanted to go with this approach.
Gotcha.
We don't do taxes. I feel in doing this for a little over 5 years, I feel that a CPA handles your tax returns, but I also feel you have to have tax strategy so that you can eliminate your tax exposure, right? So who wants to pay Uncle Sam more money than needed, right? And so why do that? Why not have a tax strategist that says, okay, they know the 8,000 page tax book back and forth, and they know some of these things that can help the business owner reduce the amount of taxes they pay.
Okay. And you guys have a tax strategist in-house?
No, we don't. So what I'm saying is we focus on the accounting and the CFO, but having a good tax strategist and a good CPA to file your tax returns, I think that's also a very key component of the whole life cycle of the finance.
That's right. Okay. And going back to like how when you first started it, were you able to bootstrap everything yourself to start it?
Yeah, I mean, I spent over 25 years in corporate. So I worked with billion-dollar revenue companies all the way down to 20 million, 15 million.
Yeah.
And so having that experience with the broad industries and the broad sizes of corporations I've worked for, I've learned it. The School of Hard Knocks, right? In education and School of Hard Knocks.
And that was able to allow you to start the business. And did you provided all the services in the beginning, or you had
yes,
to edit?
I saw the need. I saw I saw the need of these fractional CFOs, and I just knew that number one, they need to rely on those financials, and that's why I double check. You know, that's why I offered both of those layers, right?
And did you do your research beforehand to see other fractional CFO companies and see what they offer? And I was like, okay, I can do better than that.
A lot of friends of mine have joined some fractional CFO companies, and did I learn? Not in that environment, no.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I've been a CFO,
right? So
and I've started off in my career in accounts payable, so I worked my way up. Right?
So that's why you have all the experience, and it's like, you know, I can just do it on my own now. So that's why you went out and do it. That's amazing. That's amazing. And what was like one of the crazy stories that come from a client that you thought it was like, wow, this is something that we never thought it would happen, but then you were able to get everything correctly for them, and now they're much better.
They're much better. I've got two stories. Number one, I've got a story that wasn't so great. Okay. So the company had been around for 35 years, and you know, unfortunately, by the time I got there, it was too late.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The debt was too high. The owner had never ran a business before. He inherited it from his father, and his father really never showed him the ropes. And by the time I got there, he was too far in debt. We tried to get the company sold. Unfortunately, that fell through in a short amount of time. I was referred to him to go kick the tires, and he desperately needed my services. But he told me after he had to file bankruptcy, he wished he hired me sooner.
Right. Okay.
Right. So the number one crusher and killer of small, mid-size, big companies is insufficient cash flow.
Okay.
And so that is a story where it breaks my heart because he was such a good man and his family worked for the business. And, you know, it was just too late. Wow. So I encourage all business owners, if they think that they can't afford a CFO, they can. And they can, and they should. Because if cash flow is the number one killer of businesses. You know that 50% of businesses don't see year 6, and it's because of insufficient cash flows, not understanding their numbers, right? If you don't understand your numbers, I've seen businesses where they're selling products, but they're losing money, and their net losses on that one line item. So why do you keep selling it? You need to have a strategy in place so that you start making a profit that covers all of your expenses.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so, it doesn't matter if you sell 100 or 100,000 of that unit, you're still losing money, and but entrepreneurs don't look at their numbers and they don't understand them.
And that's where you come in to help save them and give them the clarity that they need to be able to grow their business and accelerate and be profitable in their business, right?
Right. We can turn those things around. And I have examples of other entrepreneurs that I work with today that are much more successful today than when I started with them
Okay.
because of that financial clarity. As a matter of fact, I rebranded my whole company to be TFO Clarity. And
okay.
I have a new clarity method that I have put together. I call it the financial clarity method.
That's amazing.
And I'm producing a workshop where I'm helping even smaller businesses. They could be a solo entrepreneur. They could be someone that has 1 or 2 employees, and they fall below our threshold that my sweet spot is between 1 million and 20 million. And, they may fall at a half a million. They just kind of need to know that clarity of their financials. They don't read their financials. They don't understand what they're looking at. They're focusing on the wrong thing, or they're going to their app on their phone and say, oh, I have cash. They're good at counting their money, but they're not good at understanding and making a profit and making money.
Okay. And I guess that's the message, like you want your clients to know, like, that's one of the things that you think your clients should know that you can share with them, and then they should know beforehand.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you like to tell them, like you wish they would know better as well?
That was a great question. One of the things I did at the end of last year is I wrote a book.
Yes.
And I wrote a book called Following Up with Grace, An Entrepreneur's Journey to Financial Clarity. The reason why I wrote this book is because I took the stories and the things that I've learned or I've seen other entrepreneurs do that were not so great, right? Or I call it falling up because you fall down and you got to get yourself back up. You've got to embrace the falls, learn the lessons, and rise up with grace.
Right, exactly.
So Grace is named after my grandmother. She was a badass entrepreneur. And I kind of wanted to tell this story because there's a lot of lessons learned from her journey. And each journey has a beginning, middle, and end. And at the end of the beginning journey, she goes through these things. And some of the things that they're taken from my real life experiences. And I put them in the book, and then I have lessons learned from the author from me.
Nice. Okay,
yeah, like little tips of what she could have done better, or remember to look at this, or remember to look at that. One of the things is that she goes through embezzlement or fraud in this book. So Grace experiences that and how she overcame that. And then I threw in some little tips and tricks of how to do that. Because did you know that nearly 70% of business owners have some sort of fraud happening in their business? It's not if it's going to happen, it's going to be when it's going to happen.
Okay.
And to understand what you need to do to avoid fraud or embezzlement. Those are things that you can't turn your head and say, it's not going to happen to me. It will more than likely happen to you. Whether it's lying on, employees lying about their timesheets or submitted, expenses that were personal, and it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. So you've got to keep an eye out for that as a business owner.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so that's why I have this book, and you can find this book on Amazon. It's by Tina O'Banion's Following Up with Grace. It's a really great, fun book. I didn't want to write a book on how to read your financials. So the reason why I'm doing this workshop is to get more entrepreneurs to understand their numbers. So I'm doing a workshop Can I go ahead and talk
Yeah,
about
for sure.
my
Definitely. Yeah.
call to action? So if you'd like to know more about my business or the book, you can text the word numbers to 26786. Again, that is text the word numbers to 26786, where I will be rolling out in the next month and a half my workshop that will, I hope, to reach entrepreneurs at any size.
Yeah. And that's the best way to reach you as well. Is there any other way to reach you?
Sure, you can go to my website, tfoclarity.com, or Tina at tfoclarity.com is how you can reach me through email, reach my
Okay.
website. I'm all over the place. Or look at me on LinkedIn. I'm
LinkedIn.
on all the socials,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, I am too. I'm mostly on Instagram. Yeah. So the Justin Ng, at the Justin Ng on Instagram. Um, do you want to share your phone number, or is just
No,
only?
it just text the word. My number's on my website,
Oh, okay.
and you just stay in touch with me. I'm offering a free clarity method summary of what I've come up with. This exciting thing in the clarity method is 7 steps, and through the workshop we will have clarity with these business owners. You will learn. You will learn to be able to read your financial statements and know what they mean.
Wow,
Did
that's
you know the
amazing.
most important financial statement is your balance sheet?
Is it the same as a P&L?
It's not the P&L.
Oh, okay.
It is the balance sheet. If
Okay.
your balance sheet is wrong, your income statement is wrong. Did you know that?
Interesting. I did not know that. I learned something new today. So balance sheet, income statement, and then the P&L is the same thing.
Income statement and P&L are the same thing. Profit and loss, income statement, they mean the same
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's your income minus your expenses equal net income.
Okay.
That's your income statement or your profit and loss statement.
Okay.
But your balance sheet is what really is the most important financial statement, because if your balance sheet's wrong, your income statement's wrong.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
So you learned something new
I
today.
learned something new today. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And they can get your book in Amazon as well,
On
right?
Amazon.com.
And
Yeah.
also on your website, you get a book as well.
Yes. Followingupwithgrace.com is where my book information is, where I'll be posting some tips and tricks. I mean, I'm working on all of that, but yeah, I hope you guys go find the book. And actually, because it's Women's History Month, in the month of March, the book is on sale for $15, I believe, on Amazon.
Nice. I appreciate it. And I know you mentioned that it's Falling Up with Grace, right?
Yes.
And you say your grandma's name is Grace, and she was an entrepreneur. Were you exposed to, like, when you're growing up, you were exposed to how she was working as an entrepreneur, and that's why you got all the knowledge and information that you can share within the book as well?
Yeah.
And compare and contrast for your experience right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So mainly, it is my grandmother's inspiration, because she was able to retire at an early age.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she was able to live out her senior years in luxury and nice home by the lake. And
that's amazing.
so she had this beautiful home she built, and beautiful garden. And I looked up to her. I don't remember all of her going to work and all that. I just remember celebrating her and spending summers with her at her lake home.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
so fun.
That's amazing. And yeah, the reason I was asking is because, like, for me growing up, I didn't spend time with my grandma at all. I think I was still so young, so I didn't have the chance. So I do not know, like, the bring up for her and everything. And it's just different, different culture for me. So I truly appreciate your time today, Tina, for sharing your experiences and your amazing business and your stories from, like, from, like, humble beginnings to where you are right now to be a successful businesswoman. So truly appreciate it. And I guess you can let the audience know, like, where can we reach you again, just in case.
Okay, so yeah, text the word numbers for my free gift, where you can get a sneak peek of my upcoming workshop called Financial Clarity. You just have to text the word numbers, that's NUMBERS, to 26786. Again, that's 26786. I look forward to you reading that and reaching out.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tina, for the
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much
Thank
again.
you so much. This is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you.
You made